Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. Again, we said this last week. If you enjoy the content, like what you see, subscribe to the page, like the Facebook page, comment, whatever you want to do. We have security here as usual, keeping Soapy Pre-Op out of here. We did allow him on the live stream last week. He made some threats after. Obviously, he says he has a promise to make, apparently, and we'll have to see what Soapy does. But we're ready in case he tries that today. But anyways, my guest, former one-time host of Let Freedom Ring, Bobby Beaulieu. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. By the way, have you addressed the fact that you and Soapy are going to be at the same weigh-in together? Like, is that where he gets you back?
There's a lot of concern.
We might have to hire some security guards for that.
We'll probably have to bring some people. I mean, this guy, you don't know what really he's capable of doing.
He's dangerous.
So we're gonna definitely have that figured out. I might get a bodyguard for the day.
Yeah.
I know Ken Shamrock does a lot of body. I wonder what he goes for.
Yeah.
He was 50 Cent's bodyguard at one point.
He could, but I mean, Ken Shamrock, isn't he canceled? Like I don't know if you want to bring Ken Shamrock's not the kind of person you want to bring to a wedding.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. I'm sure there's a lot of options out there. I'll just have to see who it is.
It's in Jersey. You could hire the mob. There's a
true.
lot you can do.
But welcome back, Bobby. I think you've been here more than any other guest.
Yes.
You and Leo Connors battling back and forth for most episodes here at Let Freedom Ring.
Oh, how many times has Leo hosted the show?
He's never hosted the show.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, until that day comes, I'll always have one up on him.
That's true. But he does have his own show.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll be going back on his show on September 27th, I believe. So
nice.
But let's get into some stuff going on because the headlines have actually been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Bill Cosby, serial rapist, still shocking to me growing up watching the Cosby Show. He's released. He's a free man.
Yep.
What on earth happened?
Technicality, in the civil suit, they were trying to get him to come be more confessional, say more things that they wanted to do so that there'd be more monetary value to them. There were 60 accusations. Only one person actually went to trial. Yeah. And the person who did the civil case made an agreement with him that they would not use that information against him. And then they did. And so the Supreme Court said, that's one, you can't use that as an agreement.
Was it the Supreme Court or Pennsylvania?
The Pennsylvania Supreme Court.
Yeah, okay.
So they were like, hey, you made this agreement, regardless of what you said, this is thrown out. And you can't retry him because that would be double jeopardy.
No, it's crazy because, I mean, honestly, when you have this many accusations, I buy into it, especially when all the stories are kind of the same.
Yes, he is definitely a guilty person. The problem is, though, only one went to court. Only one person pressed criminal charges. Yeah,
unfortunately, that's kind of what happened, and you wish more victims would come forward, but it is so hard as a victim.
Yep.
And who Bill Cosby was, that is not easy. Didn't he make a move on Lou Ferrigno's wife?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
There's a lot that happened. It's messed up. But that's the justice system, right? He wouldn't have said what he said, and they wouldn't have got the monetary gain from it in the civil trial unless he had made those comments.
Yeah, no, absolutely crazy that he's being released. I know his
already out. He's already home.
Yeah, I mean, just like that.
Yeah.
83 years old. Don't think he has much time.
He's got dementia.
His legacy, though.
Blind, by the way, too.
Is he?
He's blind.
Yeah, I even to this day, I can't believe that Bill Cosby, who seemed like one of the most genuine people in Hollywood, did a lot of good things for education and things like that. For him to have been doing that for so many years,
yeah,
it's crazy. But Cosby is free, and it's unfortunate. But you see a lot of memes out there where people are saying, "God, we asked you to free Britney, and you freed Cosby."
Yes.
Britney Spears. I don't even understand it. Did she sign away her rights?
No, she had that mental breakdown in 2007, 2008.
Okay.
And basically the court said that you're not mentally stable enough, and they put her into this. There's a whole Netflix movie that is the Britney Spears stuff and all that, but there's also a Netflix movie about conservatorships where some lady basically steals all this money from old people. But that's what she got caught up in 2008. It's not easy to get out of. I personally think she should be free. Free Britney, but I also am not seeing the medical records. I'm not seeing the mental.
I mean, there must have been something in there really bad. I know a lot of people are she was manipulated by her father and her family, which is possible. I mean, I feel like every childhood star with exceptions like Justin Timberlake.
Well, he's part of that problem.
Oh, they'd say that he apologized for some things I guess he did to her.
Yeah, like 12 and a half years after.
Yeah, but these child stars, Michael Jackson, for an example, they're so troubled in their adult years, and it's like I do think Britney Spears is she not allowed to leave her house?
No, she's not. She can't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Everything has to be approved by her father. Most of the conservatorship she wanted out of was the fact that she doesn't want her father having the financial hold on her anymore. I don't think she was totally disagreeing with the fact that she's kind of crazy and that she needs a little help. Not to say that she's crazy. She's mentally unstable. It's tough. I don't foresee her ever getting out of it.
Yeah, so unfortunate. But that meme was funny. You freed the wrong celebrity. Obviously, very different cases here. One's prison, one's, I guess, home prison in a way.
Yeah, it's just tough though, because everyone's causation and correlation don't always attach themselves together. She's in LA. LA has stricter rules on that stuff. Well, California in general, and then Cosby's in Pennsylvania. They're two separate states, and it also happens to be the end of the quarter and all this stuff. A lot of that stuff comes out at the same time, so it just happened to happen at the same time.
Yeah, literally the same day.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. Also on the news, and I don't have the name or anything, but we're going to have the first transgender weightlifter in the Olympics. It was a transition from male to female. I believe this person is 42, which is kind of old for the Olympics. Any take on transgender athletes in the Olympics?
I mean, it's one of those really hot button topics. I don't know their situation.
I think you can, but I will say this: you can talk about this stuff and be respectful, and because I listened to Ben Shapiro the other day.
He's crazy,
and the way he talked about it was like, Ben, even in your points, it sounds like you have such hatred for transgender people.
He's a hatred person. He's that guy is awful.
He referred to her as this dude and all this other stuff, and I'm watching and being like, this is the problem. This is the problem why we can't have actual conversations about transgender athletes, because people get so. What does Ben Shapiro care?
He doesn't. He's a very privileged person, so and he's all about clicks and follows and likes. That's all he cares about.
So the more fired up he gets,
and the
obviously.
more ridiculous he is, the better it is to go sharing and go viral. It's the same thing with sports takes with that guy on FS1. What's his name? Skip Bayless. He doesn't believe half the things he says.
Yeah.
He just looks for okay, this is going to get content, this is going to get follows and likes.
I think that's true.
In this situation, this person's 42 years old. Are they going to be able to win the Olympics? Most likely not. Will they place? Who knows? But I think the book is too open right now. I don't know personally anyone in that situation to be come out here and say they should or shouldn't be doing that. I don't have kids yet. So what if my kid grows up and then is in that situation? I don't want to.
Well, we start getting these weird conversations of. We're talking, if you do high school sports, we're talking about maybe people potentially losing scholarships, pro sports. Mm-hmm. Well, pro sports at the same time, though, you're getting paid. I know, Leo mentioned, he said, not mixed martial arts. And I agree with that, I think. Rec sports, who cares? You know what I mean? It's just, this is a weird thing, because you have some people this is so exciting, and you have some people that are just so angry. I don't know.
I think in 30, 40 years, you'll know if you're on the right side of history or not with the comments you make. And Ben Shapiro will be on the wrong side of history always.
Because I think you could say, there's an advantage there without being a jerk about it.
Right.
He was being a jerk.
Yeah.
And, I will say
she's no longer producing testosterone, so it's not like she's, full-blown.
Yeah. I just feel like a lot of these, conservative YouTubers or conservative columnists, they, can't have conversations without being just respectful to another human being.
No, because people wouldn't watch that and people wouldn't follow that.
True. That's a good point. So, yeah, I guess my take, I could see where it feels unfair a little bit. Mm-hmm. But again, people have rights to do things, and you can have a debate about this stuff without being a jerk about it.
Yeah.
Red Sox have the most wins in the AL or the whole league.
I think they're now tied. I think the Giants won last night, if I'm not mistaken. So they're both 51-win teams. They have the most win in the AL. That is true. And a 3.5 game lead on the Tampa Bay Rays.
Wild, because I said, I have not been following. I'll be honest. I have not been following.
You're missing out.
And I said last year when they were bad, this is John Henry. This is how John Henry owns teams. You have really bad seasons, and then you have great seasons.
Yep.
Are you shocked by this team?
Yes. I think the Red Sox are shocked. I think the Red Sox are sitting going, we're 30 days out from the deadline. We're still rebuilding our farm system that we blew up in 2018. Do we go all in? Me personally, there's a lot of those top prospects. I wouldn't give up anyone this year. I don't think this is the year you go all in. I think this is a great story. The bullpen is what's keeping them in these games, and the offense was there last year. So they had one of the highest batting averages in all of baseball last year. So I just think they're getting a lot out of nothing in their starting rotation, except for Eovaldi, and their bullpen is lights out. Their bullpen has let up one run over the last 10 days or something like that.
Absolutely insane. What a turnaround. It's
crazy. I mean, they're young, and they got a lot of grit. But do you go all in? It's that real. Like, you're not going to get Max Scherzer, even though because the Nats still have a chance. The Nats were below 500 when they won the World Series that year up until the All-Star break. You need a top rotation pitcher. I don't know if there's anything out there without giving up some of your top prospects, which I wouldn't do. This is just not the year for it. This is a great story, but is it maintainable? I hope so.
And maybe Alex Cora was worth bringing back.
100%. He's getting the best out of these players. It's insane.
Yeah, no, pretty exciting stuff. So yesterday, the Suns are now moving to the finals. And I just want to say shout out to Greg Coutreau, who said on this show the favorite should be the Phoenix Suns to win the NBA Finals. Greg, you're very close to being correct on that.
What, from the beginning of the year, from like the...
When the playoffs started. Because I just assumed Nets would do it.
Yeah, those super teams can't hold up because the problem is that if one guy gets hurt, they have no bench, they have no depth.
True, and I thought the Lakers would be better than that. I think
injuries. I mean, LeBron James is 36 years old. You know, even Kobe Bryant in basketball days. Even Kobe Bryant started to crap out around 36.
Yeah.
You know, and Kobe Bryant was one of the best basketball players of all time. Sure. Jordan, same thing. Jordan was done by 40.
Jordan was done before that.
Yeah.
Came back. He was already retired.
So the Suns. I don't know about you. I think the NBA is garbage. It's just so boring. It's soccer with hands, right?
Sure.
Instead of kicking the ball, they're running around dribbling it. It's the same thing. Both sports are just a bunch of flopping and nonsense. I mean, there's more scoring, but oh my God, can't watch it. It's just unwatchable.
I like the NBA. I don't watch the full games, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I might watch a full Celtics game.
You get into 2 minutes. I mean, not to like promote anything like that. If you're a sports bettor, it's great. NBA is pretty easy to bet on, but
well, we've known that. I mean, when the Celtics had their run, we just knew who was going to win, depending on where the game was going to be.
Yeah. But, I mean, it will be interesting to see what happens. I mean, what's his name on the Bucks? He's done. The big guy.
Giannis.
That's not something. Chris Bosh was on ESPN today. It was like, that's not something you come back from anytime soon. So
that's horrible. He's one of the biggest names in the league.
If he's in and the Bucks got to the finals, they would beat the Suns. I don't think the Hawks beat the Suns.
Is that what it is?
Well, we'll find out. The Hawks are down 3-2. Or did they force Game 7? See, again, I don't follow basketball.
I'll be honest, I haven't been watching.
I think it might be actually Game 7 tonight.
I'm not a Lakers fan, but like I want to watch LeBron James play. And once he's kind of out, and when the Celtics were out, like, you're right. There's no real draw.
There's nothing to draw.
The draw was I want the Nets to lose.
Yep.
And I want Kyrie Irving to retire and never be seen from or heard of again. Yeah. So when he got hurt, it did feel like, well, karma, man. Right. You stomped out the logo. You made it. What was it? He tried to. No one said anything racist to him that I know of. I'm not saying that. I think Kyrie's probably faced racism in his life.
100%, yeah.
But to just pull it out of thin air the way he did,
he did it to deflect because he was going back to Boston. He knew he was going to play this time. He goes, well, if they boo me, they're racist. So it's just one of those things where it's like he's like just like Shapiro, right? To just say things to go viral and clicks. And it's like, just shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Like just play it. And I'm not saying like politically like you shouldn't have like a chance to say that. I'm not saying shut up or dribble or anything like that. I'm just saying like maybe think before you say things.
Well, this wasn't taking like a positive political stance.
No.
Like when LeBron James had said, I forget what he said when they said shut up and dribble. LeBron was taking actually a really good stance.
Right.
And he does that. And LeBron actually puts his money where his mouth is.
Okay,
He's got a school that he started.
He helped Biden win Georgia.
Yeah, like LeBron puts his money where his mouth is, and sometimes he goes off the rails. But I think he realized that Kyrie is just a jerk.
He's a flat earther.
He is a flat earther, and I have no respect for that man. And the other thing is, just say what it was. You got booed because you said you were going to stay with. You want to bring this organization a championship. You told the fans that, and you really never delivered. You just left.
He just, in October of the year before he left, he went in there and said to the whole fans where they had the season ticket holder party, he goes, I'm staying in Boston. And then it was like half of the season, he goes, well, ask me on July 1st. It was like, okay, you weren't really all in. I guess maybe you didn't expect camera phones to exist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You probably didn't because you're a flat earther.
Yeah. And it was just he's a piece of work. So that's pretty much it for the NBA for me. I'm not going to watch this finals. I'd like to see Chris Paul get his first ring.
It's his first finals.
But
I mean, if I'm the NBA, I hope the Hawks come back and get to the finals. It might not be the best product, but you'll get the most eyes. No one is going to watch the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Two small market teams.
Yeah. No, they were happy when the Lakers got to the finals last year for sure.
But in all honesty, the Lakers getting to the finals last year was great. It wouldn't have mattered who was in the finals because people were just glad sports are back.
Yes. Yes, they were. Last night, Jim Ross, 69 years old, widower. I just want to point this out about Jim Ross, who is a legendary wrestling commentator. He's making some mistakes in his old age.
Constantly.
He called Kenny Omega the WWE champion. He's the AEW champion. WWE is your competitor.
Said it twice at this point.
Last night, they had the send-off show from Daly's Place. They're going to get back on the road. Mm-hmm. And JR calls it WWE Dynamite. And the internet is roasting him pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean,
the internet wrestling community can be very annoying.
They're very vicious, especially heel book. I just think you're 69 years old. You had a great career. Love JR. He's called some of the greatest moments. Mankind getting thrown out the cell, all this stuff.
They broke it in half. They killed him.
Retire. Just go to the backstage. I'm not saying leave AEW. Just maybe not make the calls anymore.
Yeah, I mean he could definitely work backstage, but God forbid the guy makes a mistake. He called WWE for 20 plus years.
He's been calling AEW for 2.
So I understand, but
he's not over his ex-girlfriend. That's what it looks like.
Why would he want to go back to an organization that treated him so poorly? I mean, all the jokes Vince McMahon had done on JR on TV that just weren't funny. They're for Vince McMahon's. I remember he gave him a colonoscopy, a fake Jim Ross was pulling stuff out of his butt.
Yeah.
And making fun of him when he was actually having a surgery.
Yep. I'm not saying he wants to go back to WWE, but I'm saying that if you keep talking about them, you're not over them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing that Jim Ross has said when he was asked who's the best wrestler in the world, I think he said Randy Orton.
Randy Orton is arguably the best wrestler in the world.
I agree, but if I'm working for AEW, I would be saying Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. Yeah. And if you're from New Japan, you'd say Will Ospreay or something like that.
Oh, God, no. No, Will Ospreay, no way.
You don't like Will Ospreay? Well, he's hurt.
If you like,
Flips.
Circus Soleil,
yeah,
he's great. Him and Ricochet, it's great. If you like Circus Soleil, that's it.
Yeah.
Those are your guys. But I like professional wrestling. So, that's just me.
No, I've been
listening to too much Jim Cornette. Because Cornette hates him.
He hates them so much. He does do a lot of flips, though.
Side question.
Yeah.
Side question here. Because I've watched so many Jim Cornette interviews, and when he talks about Vince Russo and how he basically threatened to shoot him and all this other stuff. But Jim Cornette is promising when Vince Russo dies, he will piss on his grave.
I bet he will.
I asked this question to some fans. They go, do I think Jim Cornette outlives him? Maybe. If he does, yes, he's definitely going to piss on his grave.
I think Jim Cornette outlives Vince Russo.
He said he's trying to take care of himself even more because he's like, I have to live to piss on this guy's grave.
Yeah. He stopped eating cheeseburgers and that. He lost a bunch of weight. He doesn't drink anymore. He's just...
Oh my God, the hatred is Cornette just a nut, or like, do you think Russo kind of deserves some of this? A lot of people blame for Owen Hart's death.
Yes, I mean, it was his fault. That gimmick was unneeded.
It goes, but I think that falls on Vince. They should have. That I can't believe that was what was supposed to hold him. If you've seen the Dark Side of the Ring, but yeah, what do you think? Should people hate Russo as much as they do?
I don't have any hate for Vince Russo because I have no respect for Vince Russo. Like, he did all that stuff, and you took credit for things that you didn't do. You know, like he said he made The Rock. He didn't make The Rock.
Yeah, he was a writer on the team.
For a magazine at WWE. Like,
Well, no, then Vince liked what he did with the magazine and said, come on in, do this. But, my God, does Cornette hate that man?
Yeah.
He's literally
But again, Cornette's also loves the feedback because he knows that if he talks about Vince Russo, it gets picked up.
I mean, he's on Dark Side of the Ring going, yeah, I want to kill him. Like, he's,
He does not forgive him.
And then Russo like, bro, it's just wrestling. And Cornette goes, this is my life. This has been my life. And you pissed all over it, like.
It's still World of Murray, damn it.
I think Cornette was there when that guy did that.
Yeah, he was.
Anyways, AEW's going back on the road next week. WWE's following. Impact's going to have Slammiversary with fans.
Yeah.
Wrestling fans are coming back. You excited about it?
They're not. They have no shows up here. There's nothing for me to get excited about yet.
True. I mean, AEW is supposed to come, I think, in October, maybe.
I like AEW. Internet fans have ruined AEW for me.
Why
I have no interest in giving them money.
Really?
The fans of AEW are just annoying.
How so?
Because they just go on all those things. They talk about demos and ratings as if they have any idea what the heck they're talking about. And a lot of those people think they're just so much smarter. You know what? I blame what culture. There's that guy, I forget his name, who does like the news with the glasses. He is my problem with AEW. Guy is just the worst.
I don't remember all the new guys because they remember like it was the old Adam Pacitti.
Yeah.
And the other guy there. I can't. I know Simon.
Yeah, Simon's great. He's funny.
Want to know why? Here's why. I'm excited.
I have trouble watching AEW because of it. It's just like.
I mean, though, their shows have been great with fans in the stands.
It's great.
NXT with fans in the stands, getting actual reactions.
Right.
I agree. It's nice to see. All right, we got some special top fives here. We got some wrestling, we got some sports and stuff like that. Top five wrestling promotions of all time.
Like in order or just the five?
What do you think of the five? You want to put them in order, you can.
Well, I mean, promotion-wise, for me, it's WWE, WCW, WCCW, AWA, and then they just haven't been around long enough, AEW, so I'd say Memphis Championship Wrestling in the 90s. AEW will be in there, like, they're
definitely not there yet.
They're not there yet.
No.
But some of those classic things from back in the day, if you have the old WWE Network, now it's on Peacock, it's terrible, but I used to watch all the WCCW stuff. That stuff was great. They could have...
That's the Von Erichs.
They easily could have taken over everything, and they just stayed so close to Dallas and just didn't want to leave.
Well, I mean, obviously mental health was such a problem in the Von Erich family. I mean, Kevin's the only one left, I believe.
He is.
And these are suicide deaths. Multiple brothers in that family.
2 brothers, yeah. The first brother, though, was like, he got hurt or something like that, and he was on these pills thing, and he basically burned a hole in his stomach and ate himself to death.
Yeah.
And that's what caused his other 2 brothers to die. Like, they just...
Well, Kerry Von Erich also had this foot cut off or something like that.
Yeah.
He had a fake foot, which we've had guests that have had that.
Yeah.
Mark was on the show. I got Crockett Promotions, which obviously gets bought by WCW. Mm-hmm. So I put that whole run maybe all together.
Yeah.
Because Vince knew he tried to work with the Crockett's. I believe he was even on TBS.
He was.
Vince McMahon was on TBS.
But it wasn't because of Caracas. He bought the time slot.
Yeah, but he wanted to work with them.
Yeah.
And then Ted Turner obviously gets involved, and now you got 2 billionaires going at it. So I got Crockett Promotions / World Championship Wrestling. Obviously, I got the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. They're still here today. By how, I don't know.
Yeah,
Corgan,
Yeah, Corgan.
He obviously brought it back.
Yeah.
Yes, we're talking about Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins bought the NWA. For anybody that's watching and not familiar with wrestling, that is the Billy Corgan we're talking about.
Yes.
I got AWA with the Gagnes.
They're phenomenal.
Which Vern Gagne, if in the time where Vince was taking over, if he could have shot Vince McMahon, he actually would have done it.
I mean, they had the greatest heel of all time. Nick Bockwinkel would fit in any time period in wrestling.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that AWA, when the first Vince, let Hulk Hogan go.
Yep.
Let him go, and the AWA scooped him up. Big star. Then he does Rocky 3, and Vince goes, oh yeah, I need him back.
I need him back.
And not only that, Vince took all of their talent. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okerlund. Bobby Heenan.
Yep.
The list goes on. He just would take them because he had the money to do it.
Jesse the Bobby Ventura.
Yeah.
Everyone was coming from Minnesota during that time period.
Yeah, just,
because he was just pumping them out.
Yeah. Then I got, this is going to surprise people because they've survived for so long. I mean, we're hitting about 20 years. I got TNA Impact Wrestling.
I mean, yeah, they had their moments.
I mean, I don't have ECW on this list because it was gone before you know it.
Yeah, same.
Impact is going to last 20 years. That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, though? Like, they started out as like a every 2-week pay-per-view show.
Well, it all started with the Jarretts.
Yeah.
Where Jeff Jarrett was never going to be welcomed back to the World Wrestling Entertainment. So he starts a company with his dad.
Yeah.
And then, Dixie came in. My thing is, like, they've always found a way to survive. In 2016, we were like, this is going to be the last pay-per-view ever, Bound for Glory, 2016. Someone else bought into it.
Yeah.
Top 5 ECW wrestlers, Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Ooh, I had to write this one down. For me, it's Raven, Sabu, Jerry Lynn, Chris Candido, Justin Credible.
Oh, wow. Now, Justin Credible, he's got a lot of heat on him. He's lost his mind.
He is a mentally unstable person, too. But his run towards the end of the promotion, and what was that tag team that they were called together? The Impact Players.
The Impact Players.
They were just phenomenal. Chris Candido, if he didn't die so young, R.I.P.
He was already kind of being phased out, though, because he was in Impact. He was only 33 years old.
Yeah.
Blood clot.
Yep.
Yeah. So I agree, Raven. I think Raven was a big-time draw for them. I think the Raven character was very unique.
Yeah.
To go from Johnny Polo,
right,
and then go into ECW and just create this new character, this very dark, edgy character. It was great. But you can't talk about Raven and not mention Tommy Dreamer. They probably had the biggest feud, one of the biggest feuds in ECW history. Dreamer, I think, was the heart and soul of ECW. So I got to have Dreamer there. Sabu, obviously. I'd love to be able to say I could put Terry Funk on here, but I don't.
Not long
enough. I know he'd won the title, but I don't.
He really put them on the map.
He helped them quite a bit. Rob Van Dam, the whole effing show. Rob Van Dam, the longest reigning television champion
of all time.
Almost 2 years.
My problem with him is that I now see him as a WWE guy.
See, he's all, but but he was in ECW for so long enough where the company he stayed till the very end.
Yeah, but I see him as a WWE guy now. Like,
I love me some Rob Van Dam.
He's great.
So I got Dreamer. And then my number one, and this guy gets crapped on a lot. And Ric Flair, for the record, Shane Douglas is the manager of Target. He's not the guy.
I think he's like a manager of multiple Targets. I think he owns.
He's probably like a district manager.
Yeah.
The guy had a degree.
It's a 6-figure salary job. Is what he has.
And Ric Flair doing an interview saying, "Yeah, he's a bag boy now." That's not true.
That's not true at all.
A district manager for Target, you're making really good money.
Pretty good.
Probably more money than Ric Flair's making right now.
Yeah, Ric Flair had to show to Pedroia night just to get the cash, just get a check.
So I got the franchise Shane Douglas. I think the throwing down the NWA title, declaring it the Eastern Championship Wrestling is dead. This is the era, the Extreme, pointing up to his dad.
Yep.
Crapping on the history
of the NWA.
And
while Billy Corgan was rolling up the charts as
he goes on Kerry Von Erich, on the Fat Man himself, Dusty Rhodes to Ric Flair. Unbelievable. Chills watching that. He was a victim of the clique in WWF. They didn't like him. I think Shawn Michaels, Diesel, and all those guys had a little too much stroke. Dean Douglas, to me, that character could have worked. I thought he was a good performer.
Yeah,
I still do think that.
He was a good performer.
Top 5 tag teams all time. Any promotions?
Well, one thing for ECW, Honor mentioned it, Taz.
Yes.
I just
Beat me if you can. Survive.
That
if I let you. Yeah, he was great.
The F the Fans promo is still one of those things that I just laugh every time.
The fact that he called it the FTW title. He couldn't get a shot at Shane Douglas was hurt. They didn't want to take the title off him.
Yep.
Taz makes his own title, the FTW title. I'm not going to say it, but F the world. And that got over huge.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You know, an honorable mention, too, just for his athleticism, Mike Awesome. Probably one of the best performers that I don't think is talked about enough. For his size to do what he could do.
Vince Russo ruined him.
Well, he's an idiot. Well, we'll get to,
Yeah.
Gave him two gimmicks that were horrible. That 70s guy, and Fat Chick Thriller, which you could not do in 2021.
No, because Vince Russo had no talent.
Russo had no good ideas.
Nope, it's terrible.
Top 5 tag teams.
All right, so I have the New Age Outlaws, the Steiners, the New Day, the Outsiders, and LOD. And the only reason I had the Outsiders on there is because they originally were a tag team. They won the belts in WCW all the time.
Who did you say first? The Outsiders? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they changed wrestling forever 25 years ago on July 7th.
Also was the start of killing that company, though. They didn't get to the height that they were.
They blamed them, but there was more to it. In the end, the AOL Time Warner merger is what killed WCW. Regardless of whatever happened on TV.
Once Turner didn't have all the power.
It was gone. They were changing everything. There was nowhere for that to go.
All right, so I got the New Day. Mm-hmm. They just got #1 tag team on WWE.com.
They're phenomenal.
Of all time. They've been around for a while. I got the Steiner brothers.
Yep.
The Steiners could really mix it up. I got the Dudleys. You got to have the Dudley boys. They won WWE Tag Team Championships. ECW, WCW, even though I was like WWE, WCW.
Yeah.
But they won everything, TNA. And they're just awesome. And
Yeah.
they could start a riot. We
could.
talked about this on Dan and Soapy's show. That night in Dayton, Ohio, they got fouled to their cars. I'm not going to repeat
That was Heat Wave 99.
I'm not going to repeat the things that they said because they were so vile that the crowd actually they want to throw down with them.
Totally understandable. I mean,
What
was he thinking?
He said in interviews, we wanted to push the envelope every single night. And that night they pushed it, again, I'm not going to repeat some of the things that they said. Very vile, but at the end of it, he goes, you know what the best part about this is? None of you people got the balls to do anything about it. And that is what set that crowd off.
Yeah.
And obviously, I got the Young Bucks. I love the Young Bucks. I think modern day tag team, no one's doing it better than them. Now, I think they've laid their claim for one of the best of all time, in my opinion. You're probably like, I can't believe there's the New Age Outlaws on there. I just don't. But I'm also going to throw in Legion of Doom. Legion of Doom's #1. Hawk and Animal.
Yeah.
Oh, what a rush. Nothing's better than them.
No, they're phenomenal. I mean, their last run in WCW wasn't great, and they came back to WWE for the LOD 2000. They weren't really great.
Well, they were back before that, and then they're like, well, we got to repackage these guys.
Yeah.
I think Hawk's substance abuse problems.
It caught up to him.
Didn't help.
No.
RIP to both are gone.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew Hawk, but Animal passing away recently was like, really?
I mean, you can't do steroids for all those years and not...
Your heart can only take so
handle
much.
it.
Top 5 WCW World Championship Wrestling moments.
All right, so this is going to be tough. Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, 1996 at Halloween Havoc. That match is, if you ever have a chance to go watch it, it's one of the best wrestling matches of all time. Let's see, David Arquette winning the belt. As much as people hate it,
Jesus.
You don't forget it. Everyone remembers that. It was...
And David Arquette now is got to prove himself. I'm going to have a death match with Nick Gage.
That's stupid.
Not a good idea.
Terrible idea.
Wrestling is scripted. Nick Gage literally took a pizza cutter and stuck it in his mouth. You're not a wrestler, David. I mean, he's trained. What do you do in death matches? You don't need to do that.
No.
I'm just saying that, you know.
And that's another reason why I don't like Dark Side
He
of the Ring.
said, "Don't cut me," and Nick Gage still cut him.
Yeah, I don't like Dark Side of the Ring because of that stuff. Like, Nick Gage doesn't deserve the platform that they gave him.
I do want to see his stuff with Zack Ryder because they've done a really good job with the build. Yeah. But I mean, if he tries, you know, the guy's crazy. He tried to rob a bank.
He's dumb.
He robbed a bank, for God's sake.
Yeah. Clash of the Champions 28, the Rhodes family versus Terry Funk and Buckhouse. That whole build-up and the I need a partner, and he reaches out to his dad. That's just, every time I see that,
I love anything with the Rhodes
gets
family.
the feels.
Yeah.
Ric Flair versus Barry Windham at Beach Bash 93. It was actually the last time that the NWA title changed hands at a WCW event. By September that year, they departed from there. And then the Finger Point of Doom.
See, I hated that.
I loved it. And this is the
It killed their company.
It didn't kill their company. Goldberg killed their company because Goldberg's an idiot and got hurt. If Goldberg is there, I understand the point of it. It's like you get them back together, and then you have Goldberg overcome all these odds. Like he takes out Hall, he takes out Nash, he takes out Scott, then gets Hulk as they build towards the next year. Sure. It's really what could have happened. Goldberg gets hurt really soon into it because he puts his hand through a window like an idiot. Greenberg it could have worked. Greenberg is what ruined that moment. And I also like it because it pisses off the fans.
Yeah, and it also had all the fans going, I'm going to go watch Mick Foley win the title, which I was there that night.
They were gonna switch
I was there that Foley won the title. That was unbelievable.
They were going to switch anyways because Tony Schiavone had already ruined it.
That was like, what a botch.
Yeah.
All right, so mine, I have some interesting ones here. I'd like to say I loved when the Ultimate Warrior showed up on Nitro, but like his promo was lost in like not making sense.
No, I'm
just gonna put that as an honorable mention because I never thought I'd see the Ultimate Warrior in WCW.
He went over time. You can see in Eric Bischoff's face, he's like,
Hogan's like, what have we done?
Like, shut up, guy. Yeah.
But I got Ron Simmons winning the title, first African American champion. Dusty Rhodes was very big on putting the title with him. Dusty Rhodes is a very progressive man.
Yeah.
For those times. I got Sting walking out on WCW in the when no one remember the fake Sting. No one believed it was Sting.
Yeah.
Sting walks out of the War Games, and then Sting is in the rafters for a year. I think that moment was just very like, man, Sting is like he's done.
It's really sad to go back and look at it though, because like he was going through a divorce. It was a rough time period. He came back looking smaller. They botched the finish. They didn't need Bret Hart involved in that match. Like,
no, that's when he won the title. Oh, you're talking.
I'm saying fast forward throughout the whole thing. It's just like,
well, Nick Patrick legitimately counted to 3. It was supposed to be a quick count.
Yeah.
Once you did a normal 3 count, you just ruined it.
Yeah.
You ruined Starrcade. I got Goldberg winning the title on Nitro. Probably should have been on pay-per-view. The Georgia Dome exploded.
Like 7 days before a pay-per-view. Like
right
leading up to a pay-per-view. Like what are you doing?
Yeah, I think he fought like Kurt Hennig at the next
Yeah, they put Kurt Hennig in the match. Well, I guess he was supposed to face him, and then it was like, well, we'll just make this the title match because they had the tag team match at the main event.
Yeah, they just
botched that hard. Like, what are you?
There was a lot of botches. There was a lot of botches.
Bash to the Beach is one of your biggest pay-per-views of the year.
This is the only thing I'm going to give Vince Russo credit for. When I found out Booker T won the WCW title, I was pumped. I want to ignore everything that happened after. I want to ignore everything that happened before in that pay-per-view, with Hogan walking out of the company, Jeff Jarrett wanting to lay down, and then Booker T. That crowd was pumped.
I also don't fully believe Hogan and Bischoff's story when they come to talk about that moment. They talk about
Hogan
how
sued Russo for defamation of character.
Yes, Vince Russo should not have gone out there and done what he did. It was stupid for him to say that stuff. But Hogan had to be in on it. He had to know that something was happening because Hulk Hogan is being put on an hour left in the show or something like that. There's an hour left in the show. So, of course, they're going to have more to go on. Why is the world title going there? So he had to have known the screw job was happening. I bet he just didn't know that Vince Russo was going to live in La La Land and say something stupid.
Yeah, it's typical Russo. Number 1 for me is Hogan joining the NWO. I don't think there'll ever be a bigger heel turn in wrestling that can ever have the magnitude of Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. He didn't even want to do it. Like Kevin Sullivan stayed at his house, was like, you're going to the event, you're turning heel.
Eric Bischoff just did the 83 weeks. They did a live watch along of Bash the Beach, and he was even saying like, in the beginning of the first match, Hogan hadn't agreed fully to say yes to go do it. Like they were getting ready to go with Sting.
And you know what though? Like what Hogan didn't understand was that Southern crowd was never buying into you.
No one was.
They wanted Flair. They wanted Sting. You were, you know,
you were in New York.
You helped them, but those Atlanta-based crowds, those Southern crowds, they didn't like Hulk Hogan.
No.
They tried working to make him like darker.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you know what? Get off TV. Let's think about this. And it was brilliant.
Now they're all AEW fans complaining about WWE.
Yeah. Speaking of AEW, top 5 AEW wrestlers.
So I think we're gonna have a lot of crossroad on this. Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, Miro, Andrade, and Young Buck Nick. I don't think Young Buck Matt's good at all. I think Young Buck Nick is carry that team for 20 plus years, and the other guy is just there for the ride.
You didn't say Moxley?
I don't really care. I didn't care for Dean Ambrose. I don't really care for Moxley.
I got Moxley. I very much agree with Andrade is going to light it up there. Omega, obviously. I think he's the best.
He's the best wrestler in the world.
I think Darby Allin early on was the unsung hero, even though he was the one getting pinned in every match, but he was putting on very entertaining matches.
Yeah.
And then Hangman Page, he's up there. But it's Omega's show.
It's Omega's show.
You know, top 5 pitchers, MLB pitchers of all time.
All right, so got Randy Johnson.
Me too.
Pedro Martinez.
Me too.
Sandy Koufax.
Me too.
Bob Gibson.
Nope.
Greg Banks.
Okay, the only one different I have is Cy Young.
See, the problem
is Cy Young has the award named after him.
Yes, he has the award named after him, and he has the most wins in all time. Guess what? He also has the most losses.
Yeah.
Although he did pitch like 3 games a day or whatever it was.
I gotta say, Randy Johnson was just so intimidating. I couldn't imagine going up against that guy.
Dude, he killed a bird.
He killed a bird.
He killed a bird.
He did. Live on television.
I couldn't imagine
just throwing a baseball and the bird came and it hit him and the bird exploded.
Or if you're a righty standing in that box and he's throwing a 100-mile-per-hour slider up in your face.
I mean, John Kruk was afraid of him.
Yeah, he was afraid of him.
To the point he's in an All-Star game. He's like, all right, it doesn't count. Turns the helmet backwards. And, you know, that was one of the funniest. I mean, that is something that people always remember about that All-Star game. I want to say it was like the 94.
Yeah.
So they went on strike not too long after it, which hurt baseball for a long time.
It did. But Bob Gibson, though, that you didn't call out, he basically changed the mound. They had to bring the mound down because he was just dominating people in the 60s. He was just ridiculous pitcher for the Cardinals. You know, I think he won, 2 or 3 games in that World Series against the Dream Team from Boston, that fairy tale year in 67.
67, the Impossible Dream.
The Impossible Dream.
Top 5 softball teams that you have played for.
I didn't write this one down. This one's tough. By year or just...
No, just your top 5 favorite teams if you want.
So I would say the Unmasked Raccoons.
Yep, that's on mine.
The NHSSC Batwings.
That's on mine.
The 2018 Holtz Autosport in Merrimack. That is one of the best. That was one of the best teams I've ever played on. We had Joey V. We had Dustin Merrill, and Teddy was on it, and then we were stacked from top to beginning. I don't know how anyone in Merrimack allowed that to happen. I got traded at one point to end up on that team. It was just that was a fun team. Let's see. I would say probably the 603. Yeah, 603 this year has been pretty fun. That team, and then my final one would be the Tiny Pipes. That co-ed team. It was fun. We fell apart towards the end. I think we just...
Clashing personalities.
It's a long run.
Yeah.
And with co-ed, it's really tough because there's not enough tournaments.
Yeah, looking back on that, I mean, if I wasn't chasing after 48 at the time, I could have taken a bigger role in running it.
Yeah.
Love you, Pat Taylor. But I mean, the fact that he was having anxiety issues because of that team was it was just too much for him.
It's too much. I mean, we went to tournaments though where it was 8-3 or whatever, or 7-3, and we were playing 5-5.
Go to tournaments that didn't make sense. But again, it was the first time a lot of us even got involved with something like that.
Yeah.
I definitely have the Raccoons. Batwings, obviously. That was all our friends.
Yeah.
For many, many years. I loved playing on Self-Made before everything kind of fell apart. Thought we had a lot of fun there. My current church team, Manchester Christian, I'm actually having so much fun with such a great group of guys. So I'm really enjoying that team. As a fifth, I'm trying to think. I've been on so many teams over the years. I like playing for Jen and Venom. I just like the group of people.
Yeah.
You know.
Aren't you guys like the NWO or something like that now? Or
That's in the Sunday League.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that one is like its first year, so.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do a little bit of something we haven't done on the show before. Softball related, blank versus blank.
Okay.
Now, I want to give a quick shout out here. We got this here, the Bring It podcast, J-Ro.
Yeah, he goes, bring it.
You know, he was a friend of the show, but he is selling these. I had to buy one off him.
He's got koozies and shirts and everything now.
Yeah.
I can't believe, like, I get it. I mean, there's a lot of us who play softball, but I still can't believe that thing took off like it did.
Well, there is the softball community, even in New Hampshire, is big. Now you're mixing it with Massachusetts. Now you're mixing it with Rhode Island.
He's all the way in New York.
All the way to New York. People like talking about themselves, and they like talking about people that they know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most views that this show gets. We're trying our best. Again, subscribe. A lot of times, the biggest views are who has the most friends on the show. Like, who wants to see them. But yeah, no. Big shout out to J-Ro. They're doing great stuff. Though, he snapped at me the other night. I didn't really appreciate that.
What? Really?
Oh, he's saying I was catching. Said the catchers weren't paying attention. He was the one fooling around. I just want to be clear. He was the one fooling around, and then I was like done with the play, and then the guy ran.
The problem was, the play wasn't over, and you had the glove on your head.
But he's like doing all this weird stuff, and I was just like, whatever.
He was trying to distract him because I had to run to get the ball or whatever, and it was just like, the play wasn't called dead, and the kid just like takes off.
Sure.
He saw you turn around with the glove on the head, and he just bolted.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it coming. I'm not taking responsibility for that. I'm not.
You got to wait till the play. You had the umpire right in front of you.
Oh, live and learn.
We still won.
Yeah, we still won. I mean, those kids are fast. They're young. Whatever.
Yep.
Better part of Bring It podcast, J-Ro or Dustin Merrill?
That's tough. Dustin brings the knowledge. J-Ro brings the intensity.
The theatrics.
I think you need the yin and the yang. And Jimmy's great too on there. Jimmy O'Connor. Man. I'm gonna go with J-Ro because he just makes it entertaining. I just laugh a lot sometimes when he's talking. Sometimes when he's not even talking about softball, you're just like, what the heck is he saying right now?
It is pretty entertaining. Two guys that run some teams. I know sometimes they play together, but they both have had a lot of success. Jeremy Pucko or Mark Blad?
Oh, Pucko.
He's very well liked,
Yeah.
Pucko.
If you don't like Pucko, there's something wrong with you. You know?
Yeah.
The guy is just a nice all-around dude. Yeah, because Pucko runs third to third.
And doesn't Blad run like the hitman?
Yeah, but Pucko plays for them. So.
Well, I don't know. They're just two guys that I don't know. Whose leadership would you want to be under?
Oh, Pucko. I mean, one time I was playing against Blad and he called me an ASA player, and I was like, what does that even mean?
So I had Pat Sage on. I guess he's great friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
I've just heard Blad be loud over the years.
Yeah.
But when he's hosted tournaments, I always had fun going to them.
Yeah.
As long
as you don't take him too serious when he's like saying things like, I think he just says things. He's not really like trying to be offensive, but
a lot of people in softball have these larger than life personalities.
Yeah.
Two of your rivals currently in E's, Sandlot or the Hawks?
Well, I think Sandlot's more of a rival than the Hawks. The Hawks are really a rival right now. So the Sandlot.
Well, one-on-one they did beat you guys.
We've played them once and they've been in 2 tournaments.
Yeah.
We've played.
So you think
Sandlot.
they have a future? So is you're going Sandlot?
Yeah. The Hawks are just young still.
Do you think they have a future?
If they stay together, but I don't think those kids are going to stay there. A lot of those guys want to play for the Narwhals, and they're doing a team next year.
That is true. The Narwhals have their own team going too.
But Sandlot, I mean, they're in their second year. They're good. They don't lose very often.
What I will say though is when they did lose, everybody lost it. Like they weren't. The best teams got to stick together during the bad times.
Yeah, I mean, this is their second year together. 603 has been together on and off for 3-4 years. So like we have like a core, but they are good. I mean, you can't take anything away from them. But yeah, they'd definitely be the rival of the Hawks.
Better draft league. Now you play in Merrimack. Now I know there's been an all-star game with Rochester. Who is the actual better league? Because I heard Rochester won in head-to-head.
Yeah, but Rochester's not a draft league.
I was under the understanding that it was.
It's not.
So which is the better of the two leagues?
I mean, they won last year, I guess. You'll have to ask me this year because there's so much talent this year in Merrimack. It's insane. We went from like being able to only fill barely 8 teams. Now we got 10 full teams with 16 players on each team. So there's a lot of buzz around Merrimack. I can't say take anything away from Rochester. They got all those great teams, but for me personally, it's Merrimack.
All right. Throw it to third or Newcoat.
Oh, throw it to third. I was there for their world title.
That is true.
That was fun. You know, those guys.
But had won. Newcoat. Oh, they won E's.
Yeah, they've kind of disbanded too. I don't think they play anymore.
I think it's more like women's now. Because Rhino seems to like just run things now. I don't see him playing. Like he was always running things, but
it's probably less stress on him. Less playing, just run the stuff and then play a match or something like that, and just get the headaches off you. Because I know, I can only imagine how many people are giving him crap all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of whining.
It's a thankless job.
There's no crying in baseball, but there definitely is.
There's
in
a
softball.
lot of crying in softball.
Dickey or Atkinson Fields? They're right next to each other in Nashua.
Oh, Atkins. That gravel stone dust is awful at Dickey.
Yeah. It is nice that it's easier to get the softballs.
Yeah, for that it's easier, but I'd rather not play on that. I mean, the field is so close. Like if I'm at third, I'm at short of third. I feel like I'm like on top of the hitter. At least at Atkinson, I feel like I have a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah.
You know, you get true hops.
No, I agree. Better coach. 2 coaches. I hope Benny Bork watches this because this is gonna putting your feet to the fire here because I'm in the room.
Yeah.
Benny Bork or the pipes.
No offense, Dan.
The butcher, Benny Bork, I should say.
The butcher, Benny Bork.
The butcher.
You technically haven't won anything yet.
True.
You know, I've won, 3 with Benny?
I think we won 3 with him. Yeah.
No. Benny always treated us well.
I wish he'd come back.
Same. I think he's done, though, fully. We got Rico. I mean, we got Rico back.
We still got Rico.
Yeah.
Better name. Now, there's a place we started playing softball.
Yep.
Which was the New Hampshire Sports and Social Club. Then they changed the name to My Social Sports, which I've never really liked. What's the better of the 2 names?
The NHSSC was better name-wise. I understand why they're doing it. I think they were trying to reach into mass or something like that at some point. It's easier to market or whatever, but I haven't played really for them since they changed the name to My Sports Social.
Well, just what's a better name?
NHSSC.
Yeah, I never liked the name My Social Sports.
No, I feel like I have to say it every time I say it.
I like being like the NHSSC. Oh, you're going to play at the NHSSC tonight? Cool.
Yeah. In all honesty, they get their people and they charge a lot, you know, but
they did their research a lot. You know, if you're going to get that many people, they don't want to play the seasons that we're playing.
No, but $75 for 8 games is insanity.
It is a lot, but I think a lot of people, they're willing to pay to not have to make the commitment to it to be all summer.
Yeah.
Or they want to break. Yeah, I'll play 8 games and I want to take a few weeks off and then.
But even like just outside of softball, all their leagues are expensive.
Well, it's a business. It is a business. It's not, a charity. It's a business.
No, I'm saying, but there's got to be a better cost point, right? I mean, $75 for 8 games or anything is a lot.
I think the softball's only $65. I don't remember paying, 2 brothers. One is retired, unfortunately. Chris Derby, I tried everything to bring you back. Threatening you, begging you.
I mean, you asked me to uninvite him to my wedding if he wouldn't come back to softball.
Essentially, I did. So I just want to say, Chris, I'm sorry for all the things I've said on Facebook about you. I still consider you a friend. You turned your back on me, but that's okay. Chris Derby or Louis Derby?
I've known Louis longer.
Both lefties.
Both lefties. I went to college with Louis. But Chris is a great guy. He was a great coach when he ran the Sunday League, which was fun.
I love playing for him. You know what? I forgot to put that team on.
I would have.
That's in my top 5 is Tap House, yes.
I would have, but it didn't play long enough. I think I only did 1 season or 1.5 seasons.
I did 2, but I like the group. I mean, we go to most of us will go to Canada to play, and
yeah, which we're not doing that this year, right?
I have heard nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to say Louis. I've known him longer. It's hard to. If I didn't know Louis, I wouldn't have met Chris.
True. Last one. Best third base coach, Rico, or anyone in the whole world?
I think Rico takes them. Mr. Worldwide is that name for a reason. So, yeah, easily, Rico's the best third base coach in professional sports.
I told him, I texted him the other day because I posted that video where he's Craig took it, and Craig Pelletier, and it's just I start laughing because I'm up to that. I'm not even thinking about this, and I'm up there, and Rico's up there going, the pipes, tiny pipes, and then he's like, I think he said like, be all business, kid, you know, like nobody does it like Rico. He's a one of a kind.
Yes.
So big shout out to Rico. We love you, brother. But Bobby, thank you for filling in.
Yeah, no problem.
We're going to have Larry Lemoyne on the show. He will come back at a later date. I appreciate that you're a big part of the show at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could have a highlight reel with just my stuff.
Yeah, you've hosted it, most numbers of guests, done security. So I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah.
And again, we're going to keep having security here. Soapy, just stay away, man. And if you come near me at the wedding, I don't care if it's my brother's wedding, I will RKO you in front of everybody. I'll say that straight up.
It's a large wedding, so it'll be kind of embarrassing for him.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to be in the parking lot, they can get married.
Yeah.
Then me and him can take it outside.
Yeah.
Once Mike and Alicia have maybe gone to sleep, Soapy, I'll meet you in the parking lot.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that?
But again, like, subscribe, share. And until next week, let freedom ring.